The storm clouds of Riva Prime did not behave like the storms of Earth. Earth's lightning cut through the sky in straight, jagged lines. Riva's lightning curved, arcing like serpentine neon ribbons that slithered across the atmosphere, illuminating the forests below in haunting blue light. To humans, it looked unnatural. To the locals, it was a warning. The gods were waking. Jonah Hale, a mechanic-turned-explorer, with a ship barely held together by stubbornness and scrap metal, was the only human assigned to the outer region of Riva Prime. Most humans stayed near the cities. He preferred wilderness. He preferred quiet. He preferred problems he could fix with his hands, not politics. But as he trekked through the glowing forest, scanning for mineral deposits, he heard something he didn't expect. A choked cry, then a sharp gasp. A child's voice. A terrified one. Jonah froze, adjusted his goggles, and turned toward the sound. Thick mist flowed between the trees like living fabric, and bioluminescent spores floated like drifting fireflies. He approached slowly. The voice came again, a whimper. Then, "Help, please." Jonah sprinted toward it. He found her tangled in the roots of a lumina tree. A small alien girl with ash-white hair, violet skin, and 2 glowing lines down each cheek. Her limbs were trembling, and she was desperately trying to break free. A reverie child, a very young one. "You're hurt," Jonah said gently, kneeling beside her. Her wide, crystalline eyes lifted to his. She flinched back in fear. "A human." Jonah raised his hands in surrender. "I'm not here to hurt you. Let me help." The roots around her legs were tightening, alive, reactive, responding to her panic. Jonah pulled out his cutting tool, carefully slicing the tendrils loose without touching her skin. When she was finally freed, she collapsed into his arms. "Thank you, human," she whispered. "My name is Lyra." "I'm Jonah." She hesitated before whispering. "Jonah, please. My mother needs you. If I don't return soon, she might." Jonah steadied her. "What happened to your mother?" Lyra swallowed hard. "She is fading." Jonah blinked. "Fading? You mean injured?" "No," Lyra said, trembling as the storm sent a curved bolt of lightning sweeping across the sky. "She is being consumed by the cycle. We have no one left to stand with her. No guardian. No anchor. Without one, she will be taken by the veil." Jonah stared, the words foreign and heavy. Lyra slowed down. "What's a guardian?" Lyra's lip trembled. "My mother is the high seer of our tribe, the last who carries the first song. If no one stands with her during the ritual of renewal, the veil will claim her spirit. She will die." Her voice cracked. "Please, will you help her? No one else will." Jonah hesitated. This was alien religion, alien mysticism, alien risks. But he looked at the girl, small, terrified, and desperately clutching his sleeve. And he made his choice. "Take me to her." The journey was brutal. Riva storms grew stronger as the pair journeyed deeper into the sacred valley. Thunder echoed like beating drums through the cliffs, and the wind carried faint whispers that sent chills down Jonah's spine. By the time they reached an ancient stone archway carved with glowing runes, Jonah was breathless. Lyra tugged his hand. "This way." Inside. They passed through the arch. Immediately the forest noise vanished. It was like stepping into the eye of a storm. Inside the clearing, a massive stone platform hovered a meter above the ground, suspended on arcs of energy. On it lay a woman, tall, regal, her dark lavender hair fanned around her like a halo. The High Seer. Lyra ran to her. "Mother." The woman's eyes fluttered open, glowing gold, but dim and fading. Her voice was weak. "Lyra, you returned." Lyra gestured frantically at Jonah. "Mother, he came. He said he would help." The seer slowly turned her head to Jonah. A human could barely withstand that gaze. It felt like being seen by an entire galaxy. "You are not of my people," she whispered. "Why would you risk yourself for us?" Jonah shrugged softly. "Your daughter asked." Lyra clung to her mother's hand, tears streaming. "He's the only one who said yes." The seer inhaled shakily. "Many fear the ritual. They believe the veil will consume anyone unprepared. A human has never stood as guardian." Jonah stepped closer. "Tell me what I need to do." Lyra looked at her mother anxiously. The seer nodded, weak but resolute. "Help me sit up." Jonah assisted her, feeling the trembling of her body. She was freezing, almost weightless, like she was halfway out of existence. "The cycle takes more of me each hour," she said. "If I do not complete the ritual before second sunrise, my spirit will be torn apart." Jonah clenched his jaw. "I'll help you." The seer studied him with ancient eyes. "You are braver than your kind is known to be." Lyra gasped. "Mother, please. Perform the choosing." The seer lifted a hand and placed it gently against Jonah's forehead. A surge of energy shot through him, not painful, but overwhelming. Images flashed through his mind. A vast river of starlight, figures robed in celestial cloth, a veil of shadows stretching across a world, a giant temple pulsing like a heart. Then the vision faded. The seer lowered her hand. "It is done," she whispered. "You are now my anchor, my guardian." Jonah blinked in disbelief. "And what does that mean?" Lyra looked at him with hope. "It means you stand between her and death." Jonah exhaled slowly. "Right. No pressure." The ritual began at midnight. Candles of blue flame lit the floating platform. Runes glowed along the stones. The air shimmered with suspended silver dust, as if reality itself was holding its breath. The seer stood at the center, frail but resolute. Jonah stepped beside her. Lyra stood near the edge, watching with wide, fearful eyes. The seer spoke to Jonah quietly. "During the ritual, the veil will try to consume me. It will summon illusions, fears, memories. You must hold me tethered to this world, physically, mentally, spiritually." Jonah frowned. "How?" "You must not let go of my hand, no matter what you see." Her tone grew sharper than before. "No. Matter. What?" Jonah nodded. "I won't." The seer closed her eyes. The ritual began. The ground trembled. Light spiraled upward from the stones, forming a vortex around them. The shadows outside the platform thickened, merging into one swirling wall of darkness. Lyra cried out as a monstrous roar echoed across the clearing. "Mother! Jonah!" The seer squeezed Jonah's hand tightly. "Do not look away." Jonah held her hand harder. The darkness formed shapes, twisting visions. His mother's voice, his father's face, his old home on Earth, the shipwreck he'd barely survived. "You are nothing," the shadows hissed. "You cannot save her. You will fail, as you always have." Jonah gritted his teeth. "Not this time." The seer's body jolted, her legs weakening. He caught her as she leaned heavily into him. Her golden eyes flickered like dying lanterns. "The veil is strong. Then I'll be stronger." But the illusions intensified. They showed him failures he didn't want to remember, friends he lost, missions gone wrong, people he couldn't save. "You couldn't save them," the veil whispered. "You won't save her." Jonah's grip on the seer's hand faltered. She gasped, starting to fade like mist. Lyra screamed, "Jonah, don't let go." He tightened his grip again, just in time. The seer's form solidified. Her voice was faint but urgent. "Focus, Jonah. Anchor me. Remember why you're here." He looked at Lyra, terrified but trusting him. He looked at the seer, brave despite her fading life. He steadied himself. I'm here because I said I'd help. He pulled her closer, grounding her with both hands. The veil shrieked. The darkness recoiled. The runes brightened. The seer gasped and lifted her free hand, chanting the first song, a haunting melody that vibrated through Jonah's bones. The platform glowed brighter and brighter. Then, with a sound like a star breathing, the veil shattered. The darkness dissolved. Silence followed. Then, the seer collapsed into Jonah's chest, trembling but alive. Lyra ran to them, sobbing with relief. Mother, Jonah, you did it. The seer opened her eyes, golden, brilliant, fully restored. You anchored me, she whispered, touching Jonah's cheek. A human saved the High Seer. Never in our history has that happened. Jonah exhaled shakily. Glad I didn't mess up. Lyra hugged his leg. You saved her, you saved us. The seer stood, weak but stable. She reached out and held Jonah's hands gently. You did more than save a life, she said softly. You became part of an ancient prophecy, one which says an outsider will restore the balance of our world. Jonah blinked. I just held your hand. She smiled a warm, radiant smile. Sometimes that is all fate requires. They walked back through the storm, now fading to soft glows across the sky. Lyra clung to his arm. The seer walked beside him, watching him with new eyes. Eyes of gratitude, respect, and something deeper, ancient and curious. When they reached the edge of the valley, the seer spoke quietly. Jonah, will you remain with us? At least for a time. Lyra lit up. Please, stay. Jonah glanced at the sky. Earth distant, life uncertain, and then at the two who now looked at him not as an outsider, but as part of something far bigger. He smiled. Yeah, he said. I'll stay. Lyra cheered. The seer's expression softened into something warm, almost luminous. Then our future truly changes tonight. And with the storm lights swirling above them like cosmic ribbons, Jonah realized his life, and theirs, would never be the same again. Not after the night he dared to say yes.